Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the Rommel and Patton tanks. Looking here on Sarnon.net, the Rommel tank is a 65-ton armored combat vehicle specializing in close range fighting and urban combat, identical to its twin, the Patton, in every way but armament. The uh, armament and armored configuration. The Rommel has primarily served with the Lyran Commonwealth and the Lyran Alliance. So, the description here that we have listed, the Rommel was designed currently with the patent in the early 3000s when Defiance Industries decided that an armored combat vehicle capable of replacing mechs was needed. Since mech production was nearly at a standstill, the ability to produce and field armored vehicles became a necessity for every successor state. Uh, with its default main weapon being a massive and immensely powerful but short range AC-20, the Rommel is best suited for close range and urban fighting, where its heavy gun can be put to excellent use. A Rommel it may lie in wait around a corner or down an alley, and when it's um, and then use its devastating armament to cripple or destroy a battle mech when it comes into view. The main advantage of the Rommel has over other older designs is the combination of higher speed and more armor. With even more armor than the Demolisher tank, the Rommel can sustain more punishment yet slip away faster to fight again from another position. Though aiding uh, manufacture and support for both designs, Defiance Industries marketing department long laminated production or producing two visually similar tanks caused confusion among potential buyers that the clan invasion gauze upgrade of the Rommel encroached on the Patton's longer range role only worsened the situation, resulting in Defiance choosing to focus on distinct roles for both designs moving forward. While the Patton remained in its generalist main battle tank niche during the Word of Black Jihad at the hands of Dr. Oscar Longensberg, the Rommel became a close support artillery support tank under the Rommel Howitzer moniker. Weapon and equipment: the Rommel uses a single Defiance Mech Hunter Autocannon 20 as its main armament, able to cripple light and medium mechs with a single well placed shot from the main gun. The Rommel can also keep an enemy at bay with the Coventry 5 tube LRM-5 system while retreating to another position if attacked by infantry, or as a last resort, the tank commander can aim a single Defiance A- A5L small laser. So, getting into the different variants that we have in 3054, a version of this replaces the standard weaponry with a gauze rifle, a pair of medium lasers, and a pair of machine guns in the turret for additional anti infantry capabilities. This version also mounts a pair of machine guns in the front of the tank, and a single machine gun covers the rear. The only real weakness is that the design only proves or provides a half ton of ammunition for all five machine guns. We have a sealed variant from 3076. This uses environmental sealing to participate uh, in amphibious attacks. It carries heavy ferrofibrous armor and a guarding ECM suite to protect itself, and trades its weaponry for heavy PPC and Streak SRM 6s. To defend itself in water, it also carries a bow mounted RT4 system. Two machine guns provide additional protection on both sides against conventional infantry. The howitzer prototype. This version of the Rommel removes the standard weaponry and replaces it with weapons that are allegedly easier for newer troops to use and less likely to fall victim to electronic warfare or anti missile systems. The main gun is a Kingston Long Tom artillery cannon. This weapon can inflict massive amounts of damage on the target and its immediate surroundings, and it doesn't require a great gunner. The LRM-5 was replaced by a Coventry Starscream Thunderbolt 5 launcher to provide more punch at the cost of range. Two front-mounted Defiance Model 12 ER medium lasers provided ammunition-independent fire. 12 tons of Duralex special heavy ferrofibrous armor protects the tank. And then last of all, we also have a howitzer version from 3087. This production model of the Rommel howitzer replaces the XL engine with a standard fusion engine and reduce the cost. This reduces the tank's top speed down to 54 kilometers an hour. This version also carries a half ton less of the heavy ferrofibrous armor, but the weapon systems remain the same as the prototype. All right. Now, getting into this, as we can see, uh, we do have the patent that we want to get into. So let's kind of switch over to the patent here. All right. So the patent tank is another 65-ton armored combat vehicle. And again, specializing in the conventional armored warfare. We're not going to go through everything because so much of this is identical. Um, but we are going to go through all the weapons and equipment and the different variants that we also have here. So the patent uses a Defiance Killer Type T autocannon 10 as its main armament. While not as able to cripple a mech when compared to the Rommel's AC-20, the patent has a longer range. The AC-10 and 14.5 tons of armor, um, more armor than the Rommel, and indeed many mechs. The patent adds a Coventry five tube LRM 5 for additional punch at range to deal with attacking infantry. A front mounted Defiance AL or A5L small laser and a rear mounted hotshot flamer are included. So the nice thing is we also have a flamer in the rear on the patent version. So we also have the Patton Ultra. This variant of the patent replaces the standard weaponry with a turret-mounted Ultra AC-10 and a pair of medium lasers to support it. For anti-infantry work, the Patton Ultra has three machine guns. One covers the rear, while the other two cover the front of the tank. We have the Patton SB. This version of the Patton was built on the intent of function in hostile environments like the vacuum of space. Environmental sealing protects the crew from hostile environments. An XL fusion engine with supercharger allows the Patton SB to perform sprints up to 86 kilometers an hour. To reposition quickly, it retains the LRM-5 but replaces the other weaponry with a pair of ER medium lasers and a silver bullet gauze rifle with 3 tons of ammunition. The tank is protected with 11.5 tons of heavy ferrofibrous armor. We have the Patton Torian. Several Patton variants would undergo testing with the Torian Concordant for use in hostile environments. The resulting design retains the flamer and LRM-5, but mounts the LB-10X AC and ER medium laser in place of the standard AC-10 and small laser. The Torian variant also carries the supercharger and heavy ferrofibrous armor. Then we have the Patton XL, devised as a partnership between the DefHez and GM, and engine swap to the GM 260 XL Fusion allow this Patton variant to free up additional tonnage for various upgrades. This variant mounts a Mydron XL Ultra Type 10 autocannon, a Mali MML5 medium missile launcher, a Marxel X medium X pulse laser, and a hot shot flamer for anti infantry work. The targeting and tracking system is upgraded to the Tarhes Mars 5 with targeting computer and Artemis 4 FCS for protection. This variant relies on the Star Slab 6 ferrofibrous armor along with case protection ammunition bins, carrying a single ton of MML ammunition and 3 tons of Ultra AC-10 ammunition. So this one has design quirks. It is a prototype for the SB variant and has a trailer hitch so you can haul whatever else behind it. Uh, all right. Design quirks for the XL. We have narrow, low profile, and poor targeting and short range. Um, Related designs, we also have the Rommel here. And because they are so close, I didn't want to spend a lot of time getting into the description because, like I said, they were, as stated in the first one, they were built hand in hand for pretty much the same thing, but just one's a little bit longer range than the other. So, with that, let's get into looking at our D6 stats and see how well we've come up with that. All right, so putting this into our D6 universe, the Rommel tank, we'll start off with this one because that's the first in the line, and it's at Walker scale. Now, I don't know the length of this. Uh, just being honest, I really don't know. I'm sure I could have looked it up, but I wasn't thinking about that when I was doing this, so here we are. I do apologize. We do have a crew of 3 for both of these, so that's going to be the same. There are no passengers. The Rommel comes in a little bit pricier than the Patton. So the Rommel comes in at 2,908,813 C-bills. Not knowing how much extra cargo capacity, I left it at the 500 kilograms that we had seen from the Swiftwind Scout car. We do have full coverage. It is ground altitude. Maneuverability, yes, it's kind of a holdover from what we had seen from the Swiftwind Scout car. It is a 2D plus 2. We have a move speed of 64.8 kilometers an hour, and we have a body strength of 5D. And I think I did not change the body strength for our patent, so we will have to double check that. Um, the overall armor points, which is our AP, is 184 with a 5D strength, body strength. So if I was just throwing this out there, because I love having the armor points or whatever, so I can just kind of tick that off. I'd probably just go with the armor points. That's why I put that up there. So if this is the first one that you're seeing, that's the reasoning why. It just makes everything a little bit more unique from each other instead of just sitting there saying it's a 5D. And for enemy vehicles or whatever, I usually just throw out an armor point. Um, Even for player characters or whatever, I'll still use like body points, armor points, whatever. Uh, but I always try to err on the side of the players. Okay, I'm one of those kind of more forgiving DMs. I don't like killing off characters and all that stuff, and my group knows that, and I don't think they really try to take advantage of that. But that's where we are. All right, so we do have the AC-20 on the Rommel. This is turret mounted. Of course, this is going to be at Walker scale. We have that fire control of 2D. It's our standard range of 90, 180, and 270 meters and has a damage of 10D. We do have a small laser. This is our front, so this is right next to our cockpit. If you look there, um, for our driver sitting underneath the turret there, um, it's a front facing. It is Walker scale. Fire control is 2D, and damage is 4D. We also have our LRM-5. Now, that for some reason is listed as front, but when we look at the pictures, it's always put into the turret. So I'm just leaving it as the front, but if you want to have it as a turret mounted, I don't see why not. But I do want to make that note just so you have that understanding as to why it's sitting like that. Fire control is 2D, and it's 2D for the first missile and plus 1D for each extra missile. Now, the reason why I had done it that way is it's the same damage for LRM-5s, 10s, 15s, 20s, whatever have you. It's just how many missiles are we running here. So for this, really, um, we could easily just call it to a 6D damage. Um, let's see if I can just add that in here. 6D. All right. Oops. All right. So all in all, it would be about a 6D damage, but that's how I do the calculations, so that's why I threw it in that way. And then when we look at our Patton, which I'll have to kind of double check the body armor, make sure that we have the correct points. Um, nope, that's 224. So let's get that changed before I forget. So the body strength here is going to be the same, but the actual armor points is 224, denoting that it actually has a little bit extra armor there. And 60. All right. Okay. So getting back to it, again, it's going to be Walker scale. I don't know the length. The crew of three. Now, like I said, this one comes in a little cheaper at 2,747,113 seabills. And the cargo capacity is still the same. So it is a little bit cheaper to run. Cargo is still going to be the same, still full coverage. Ground altitude maneuverability is 2D plus 2. Our speed was the same, so I didn't have to change that. You saw me change the body strength. It's still a 5D because I'm going off of the armor or the weight, giving us a 5D. So um, it does have more armor in here. That's why I really like having the armor points. And then we get to our weapons. So we have an AC-10. Uh, Fire control still our 2D. Our range is increased here, I think. Oh, now I'm second guessing myself. If I find one little glitch, then I start wondering about the other ones, and I'm wondering if I messed that up. So our AC-10, yep, I think I've messed that up because that's still from the AC-20 because I didn't change it like I was thinking I was. So let's get that changed so we can properly have that. All right, so we are at 150, and then we have 300 and a 450 meters. But the damage is a 7D plus 2, so it is a little bit less damage than what our AC-20 is. We still have a small laser in the front, um, and just like before, has a fire control of 2D and a damage of 4D. We still have our LRM-5. Front facing fire control is 2D and damage 6D. But we also have the flamer here. So, uh, seeing that this is the first time we get a flamer in a vehicle, we do have this in our rear arc. Fire control is 2D. It's the same range that we have for our small laser machine gun and all that, but it has a damage of 6D and it has an extra bonus. So you're going to roll a 1D6, and the flamer does 3D damage for that many extra rounds. So if you just roll a 1, next run you're going to do 3D extra damage. If you roll a 6, now keep in mind this could, because this is only a 1, so that's also going to be your wild die. So you could keep that going potentially for quite a long time. Uh, and that's the good and the bad of doing it as a uh, D6 system. And if you really want to, you could almost say one because one is a fail. Um, you could almost say that it just kind of goes out. That's kind of up to you if you want to just give it one extra round or just say it's done. You know, I'll leave that up to your discretion because that's just the beauty that everyone plays a little bit different from each other. So um, it's a wonderful tank. It really is. Close support tank. As stated, it's got the extra speed so it can quick get in there, shoot, back off, get into position again, shoot one more time, hopefully take out the mech, and then move on from there. And the fact that they have two different variants going side by side does change it up a little bit, and it makes it a little harder for people to figure out do they have the AC-20 or an AC-10. But either way, if you come right around a corner and you're in a light mech and you see one of these, you're going to freak out either way because you don't know if it's going to take you out in one shot or if you have the possibility of an extra shot being taken before you're gone. Especially if you're looking at being in like a locust or something like that on a recon patrol. So, with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. Always glad to have you. Hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next video.